Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my brother he should have been a better father if he didn't want his son taken away? Let's see. What's the situation? My brother was a single dad for the first 6 years of his life, or of his son's life. His brother met his wife, Emma, and her son, Logan. They were stepbrothers for about 18 months and had known each other for about 3 years when Logan... Oh, jeez. He passed. Emma fell apart, unsurprisingly. My nephew confided in me a few times that he felt like everyone expected him to be feeling and reacting differently than he did. He told me he wasn't glad Logan was dead and it was sad, but he didn't feel like he lost anyone. And so, her son passed, which means at this point in life, his brother has been with Emma for about two or 3 years actually. I don't know, it seems like a long time to know this kid and have no feelings about him passing, if you ask me. It's a little strange. Before Christmas, she decided to spy on my nephew and his friend. His friend had lost his dad and sister in a car crash, and my nephew was consoling him. She heard my nephew say he hadn't ever experienced a personal loss before, wasn't sure how it would go, but he would always let his friend talk. It's getting kind of fucked up. Emma went nuts on the boys and chased the friend off, who was already upset. Why was the friend upset? My nephew ended up yelling at her, and the boy's mom and grandparents called my brother. My brother told my nephew he should be ashamed of himself for being so dismissive of my brother's death. Hold on. So, this is when my nephew called. I was able to let him stay, mostly due to the police not wanting to drag him back to my brother's house. He called them and having already contacted CPS in order to talk about what was going on, they sent someone to talk to my nephew and then my brother and Emma. So my nephew gets to stay with me. My brother was accused of taking his son away from him and told me I should be ashamed of myself. He said it wasn't my place to get so involved. I told him I didn't take his son, he chose to leave, and that if he didn't want his son taken away, he should have been a better father. This is when he told me I was overstepping and I should see this POV and how awful it was what my nephew has said and done. Am I the asshole? So this is kind of a complex situation here. So this dude's nephew, one of his step-nephews, died. His original nephew, who had known this kid for 3 total years at least, feels no sense of loss towards his brother. I definitely don't think he should say he should be ashamed of himself. I'm sure if they really sat down and talked about it and asked maybe like, hey, why do you feel this way? Why did you not feel like this is a sense of loss? Maybe ask him questions about it. I don't think you're the asshole, actually. Maybe you shouldn't have gotten involved. You made a mistake, but you're not an asshole on this one. This dude's good. We'll get enough vote on that. Am I the asshole for getting someone arrested and fined over my boat? What happened here? The first 4 days of fishing/boating went very well, however the same couldn't be said for the 5th. She started over some fishing we did the same bay at Alex's cottage. After using my fish finder, we find a prime spot on the other side of it. Roughly an hour into us being there, a woman in her 20s to 30s, who didn't know, connected across the bay to us. When she asked to speak to the owner of the boat. I guess she got to them. When I introduced myself to her, she started going off about how the boat isn't allowed on the lake. My response to her was to point at the lake permit in the windscreen before asking her to leave and not disturb us anymore. This made her furious and she started cussing and screaming at us. For safety reasons, Alex started recording her in case she did anything stupid. This only made things worse, so she started trying to pull up our fishing and anchor lines, and doing this, she wound up breaking my $3,000 rod. This was when her demeanor did a 180 and she began to plead with us not to call the police. As collateral, she offered to not only replace it but pay the next year's permit. I rejected the offer and used my VHF to call for police assistance right in front of her. The result of this was getting fined for angler harassment and arrested on felony destruction of property. 2 days after, Alex's parents found themselves being visited by a woman's mother. From what she told me, she started going off on them and saying, "We were assholes for getting your daughter right." Nah, that lady's crazy. Fuck her and her daughter. She believes we should have accepted her apologies and offers to replace it. Nah, if she's gonna go out of her way to specifically just go berserk on you and not think about the actions of her consequences, she's just gonna start attacking and breaking shit. She deserves to at least deal with fines and legal issues. She shouldn't be destroying someone's property. This dude, you're fine. Salary enough. You're not an asshole here, man. Just unfortunate. I'm at the asshole for wearing an Iron Maiden t-shirt to my first meeting with my girlfriend's parents. No. I'm at the asshole my girlfriend says I'm constantly criticizing her, but I think she's adding malicious intent to my simple questions. Understand my girlfriend is on the spectrum while I am neurotypical at best. Sometimes she does strange, questionable things that I cannot understand why she would do that, so I usually tend to question her on a lot of things she does, and it's something that I do with most people. It's usually pretty simple things like, why do you always carry so many things in your bag? Why would you walk over there instead of over there? Why are you doing this versus that? There's no judgment, there's just reflex questions, but she says that she feels like I'm criticizing her. But I don't understand why she doesn't just stand firm on whatever she's doing. It's not like I'm saying what she's doing is wrong, I'm just wondering why she does what she does. Most of my friends and family would stand firm on whatever they're doing and brush me off by either saying I don't know, or because I want to. Since I'm questioning simple stuff, and I'll accept that and move on. But my girlfriend is convinced that I'm criticizing her. Aida? I wouldn't say you or your girlfriend are the asshole here. I'd say maybe there's some miscommunication going on. Just a little bit, but none of you are really going out with malicious intent or doing anything with malice. Yeah, just some miscommunication. I don't know, the mind can be very complicated. Sometimes everyone just thinks different things. We're on different speeds. And so you might be questioning all these small things about her and you might think to yourself, it's nothing big. But someone else might think differently just because of how they've grown up or through experience that, hey, if someone asking me a lot of questions, they're criticizing me or they're just constantly watching me. Am I the asshole for suggesting to my date that we dressed casual? No. Am I the asshole for sending my neighbor a ransom note? We gotta figure out what's going on here. Alright, a couple weeks ago, my next door neighbor left a note in my mailbox. Apparently our trash carts were mixed up and he wanted his back, which is fine, but he wasn't exactly polite. The note read, "You have my trash cart. The city assigns everyone a specific trash cart for a reason. I expect it returned in good condition." Now we have what it looks like a new contemporary home next to their home, which now looks worse than it did by comparison. I think this bothered them. Before the remodel, they would come out and say hi just about every time they saw us. After we remodeled, they only spoke. We spoke was when they happened to be coming or going at the same time. Maybe once a month if that. So back to the story. After getting this note, I made a ransom note. I cut letters words out of my wife's magazines to write this. I have your trash cart. If you want to see it alive again, you'll do exactly as I say. Meet me at the Arroyo Bridge at midnight. No funny business. If I so much as smell a cop, you'll find your cart floating in the river. Anonymous. I thought it was funny. I thought he might even think it was funny. But the next day when I was leaving for the gym, he comes out and says, "You're a real asshole, you know." I was a little surprised, so I laughed, which I think made him madder. I just replied, "Sorry man, just making a joke. Let me get your trash can." They're identical as best I can tell, but apparently he was pretty attached to his. I don't think you're an asshole. It was definitely a bit extra. You definitely were kind of asking to get something in return or some sort of reaction back. So I think his might have been a little warranted if he was genuinely just looking for his trash can. He might be a little old-fashioned in the way he does his trash can ransom notes. And yours was quite clever. Good note, good joke, but this was warranted afterwards. Um, but you're not an asshole, actually. It was just, he can call you an asshole. He gets that as a pass. Am I the asshole for not wanting my brother's new girlfriend at my wedding? If she's an asshole, no. If it's unwarranted, also no. It's your wedding. You choose what you want for your wedding. It's your wedding. In the end, that's what's important. So you do what you want. Am I the asshole for refusing to share some money with my sister for college and being honest with my mom when she asked why? No, I don't think so. Am I the asshole for wanting my stepdaughter to share a room with her half-sisters in our vacation house? No, she's 10. She's fine just sleeping in the room with her younger siblings at the moment. She might not like it, but that's just how it goes when you have a lot of siblings, especially when you're traveling and doing other things similar. You might share a room, sometimes you'll share a bunk. It's just how it goes when you're a kid. With a lot of siblings. I wouldn't say you're the asshole for it. It's just a vacation. It's whatever. For calling the police first. Usually, yes. I'm not gonna read into it. Am I the asshole for not wanting to run 5K alongside my wife? No. 5K is a fuck ton to run. Not everyone can run 5K. Not everyone can run 5K comfortably. So if you don't want to run 5K alongside your wife, that's okay. She should be able to hear you out, communicate it, understand, yeah, you know, this is 5K, maybe they don't want to fucking do that. You're not the asshole. You don't have to run 5K. For not having a guest room? No. Don't feel obligated to have a space of your home dedicated to other people if you don't want to. You live there, man. Woman. So yeah. That's your home. Put it how you want it. I'm not asking for walking away from a breastfeeding woman. 16 female was at work. I served when a mother walked in who I think was her husband and 3 kids. Maybe toddlers and one baby who was maybe, 2 to 3 months. I was assigned them and I showed them to their table and let them know I would be back in 4 minutes to get them started on their drinks. When I came back, the mom asked me to leave because she was breastfeeding and wanted some privacy. I agreed and walked away. 16 minutes later, the mom and her husband came up and asked to speak to my boss. Where I work, I'm not allowed to ask questions. Why for stuff like that, so I agreed when they were done talking to my boss. My boss asked if I really just walked away from them. I asked them what they meant. They explained to me that the people said I walked away from their table after seating them. I explained to them that they asked me to give them some privacy so she can breastfeed. My boss cut me off and told me to go serve them and that I would be written up for denying service. For the rest of the night, the family was short and mad at me the whole time. They were snippy and treating me like an animal and didn't understand basic knowledge. You're not the asshole. These people are fucking crazy, dude. My wife has dealt with a lot of crazy customers before, and I've also worked in foods. People are just fucking crazy. Like, not even reasonable sometimes, just straight crazy. She asked you to leave, so you left. They're just fucking crazy. I don't know what's going on there. Fuck that family. They probably didn't even tip you well. They probably didn't even give 20%. Am I the asshole for agreeing to buy a house with my sister without telling my husband first? Yes. If it's your husband and you guys are sharing a life together in the future, that should be your financial and intimate partner in terms of everything you guys do. You should work as a team and communicate well. If you just buy a house with your sister without telling your husband, that's kind of like, it's not lying, but it's directly being a little misleading. If that was the intent. Am I the asshole for telling my wife not to bring up my addiction issues in front of our kids? No. You're not. I understand maybe you want to save it for when they're a little older, have a more serious discussion about it, and that's okay. if you want to do that. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It depends on how you said it to her as well. If you communicated calmly and effectively, properly, I guess not properly, but you were able to just express yourself without being rude, then you're not the asshole, I would say. But if you yelled at your wife or like specifically got angry with her, then you might need to take a second to reflect and look at your own emotions and where they're coming from, kind of see if it's warranted. Aida for saying my middle-class parents' marriage gift is equal emotionally to my much richer wife's much bigger marriage gift. No. If you just like more sentimental things than money, you're not the asshole for saying that it means the same thing to you, or it's on the same, basis. Am I the asshole for shaving my head right before my grandparents' wedding? No. Again, you look how you look. Doesn't matter how you look. If other people expect you to look a certain way, that sucks for them. You're your own person. Do your own thing. Look how you look. And just be yourself overall. So don't worry if they're being kind of rude about it and all that. It's not really worth it. You should be fine. Am I the asshole for us asking my grandpa to walk down the aisle instead of my father? No, you don't have to have a traditional wedding. Just do things your way. It's your wedding. Doesn't matter. You're not the asshole. Am I the asshole for wanting to watch TV during my lunch break? No. That's your lunch break. That's your time, dude. Do what you want to do on your time, so long as you're not fucking over someone else in their time. You're fine. Ada for blowing at my husband over chicken Alfredo. Probably, yeah. Why are you getting mad at him over chicken Alfredo? Do you know how stupid that sounds? It's chicken Alfredo. If he fucked it up and he's trying to cook it, that sucks. That's unfortunate. Make something else. It's chicken Alfredo. It doesn't matter. I eat it for visiting my daughter without previous notice. Your husband's 60, you're 55, you guys have 2 kids, 32 and 30. So they're adults, you just you don't want to pull up unannounced. Someone might have plans or might just not want to have some sort of company that day. So maybe not the move to go for that. Anyways, yeah. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Hopefully you have a good night. Subscribe, like if you enjoyed. See ya.